Hello, friends from Fire Reasons. Welcome to the post-game show. The Miami Heat just beat the Atlanta Hawks 113 to 109. So here we are with Tony Schwartz. We're going to be doing a different post-game show today. No post-up show, no Royal Shepherd and his crew tonight. They're taking their night off. They are going to be doing post-game shows for the playing games. So they're going to be for those games in specific. But for tonight, you only get us. That's what you get to review what went on in the Miami Heat 113-109 win tonight at FTX Arena. Tony, how are you? Welcome back to the postgame show. How you doing?
Dude, after this game, I'm doing amazing. I'm
Yeah,
doing amazing.
it was way more exciting than we expected, right? I mean, the Miami Heat already had the first seed in the Eastern Conference, so we thought maybe they're going to rest a lot of players. That was not the case. They mainly use their main rotation. And I mean, they played it like a straight game in the regular season or even a playoff game, if you will. So, what are your like general takeaways from this particular game?
Yeah, immediately for me, one of the first things that I love to see was when we got into a late game situation, they executed the offense. Everything worked. You know what I mean? All the things that we were hoping for. When they put Caleb out there to play defense on that last possession, I got so excited because that's my dream. That lineup's my dream. Take Max Struess out and put in like PJ or somebody else. But that's what I think they can throw at teams over and over and over again in the playoffs is these waves of versatility, these different kind of looks, all the stuff that really makes the difference. I'm head over heels. I'm sure we'll break down individual players here, but if we're getting started, I'm super excited. This is a great matchup, man. That let it off.
Yeah, I mean this Atlanta team is coming in a hot run as well. I mean the Miami Heat has faced how many teams now that they're coming in a hot run and they just stopped him. And so that's a good thing,
Yeah.
especially heading into the playoffs, playing to those teams and beating those teams that are actually playing good basketball. We're gonna start reading some of you guys' comments. So thank you very much to all of you that are just coming here to the post game show tonight. We are doing a different thing today, as we did probably a week ago when Royal and his friends from the post up show couldn't be here with us. And as Tony's fixing the camera there, we're going to start reading
I'm
some of you
working on it.
guys' messages here. Let's go. Our friend Thousand Dies. We have absolutely to play for. Yeah, we brought it. We didn't have anything to play for. Hit culture. Start the show. Jermaine, we're here. What a win. I want to talk about Duncan. Okay, we'll break down Duncan Robinson here in a second. What happened to Dedmon? Oh, yeah, let's start with that because this happened. This just happened here in the fourth quarter. It didn't look very good. I mean, it didn't look very good. Hopefully, he can be ready for the playoffs. And I don't think he's going to be playing on Sunday against the Magic. But it did. I mean, it didn't look pretty good, right?
Hey, listen, I didn't look great. It could just be a twisted ankle. I hate doing that thing where I try to predict injuries. I don't know enough about the game.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this, though. If it forces somebody to sit the hell down, I'm not upset about it. Okay, we can't get these guys to sit for nothing. As you can see, most of them played like 32 minutes.
Yeah.
So if make somebody sit down and get some rest, I'm all for it.
Yeah, I mean,
I hope
I
he's okay
guess
though.
yeah, I guess what they're thinking is they are gonna get a little bit of extra days because of the playing games. So they didn't want to get to that first game of the series without being, I mean, what, around 9-10 days without playing an actual game. So I understand why they're trying to get some minutes in before they go into that off week, if you will. So let's continue reading some of you guys' comments, and then we'll review individual
Turn up
performances
the hype
tonight.
level, chat. Turn up the hype level. This was amazing.
Yeah, here we go. Sky's the limit says Heat win, let's go. Our friend Yusuke Urameshi says big W. Jeremiah King says Caleb was so much better than Duncan in the minutes he played tonight. Thousand again says fun game. Heat brought it. Yes, both teams brought it. I think it was a pretty even game and a pretty exciting game. It even looked like a playoff game, if you ask me. Ron Baker just the flame, the fire, the heat. Dennis Ramirez, why are the starters playing these games that don't matter? Don't want to see anyone get hurt. Well, we just saw some people get hurt. I mean, Dedmon just got out of there, and hopefully he's fine for the rest of the playoffs. But we'll see. I mean, it's a matter of rhythm too. I mean, you have to
It
balance a little
is.
bit of a rhythm and also staying fresh for the playoffs. So I guess they rather play than just take the night off.
Yeah, and look, from what Spo said, it seems like it was a player's decision. At the end of the day, these guys know themselves better than anybody else. You know,
Yeah.
they feel like it's worse for them to get out of the instinct, to get out of the feel of basketball, to sit for 8-9 days than to risk, that's what they're weighing, and they're like, yeah, we should play. And Spo ran with these horses all year, so why not run with them now?
Yeah, and remember, a lot of these guys also missed a lot of games because of injuries. So now that they're in, they probably want to still work on some stuff. We saw before this particular winning streak, they did have a really bad 4 games and they lost, and they were, I mean, they didn't look connected in the right way. So that, I mean, these 2 games were good to see a little bit of that as well. So Tony's camera is going on and off, but he's there. So you guys,
I'm here.
yeah, you guys keep sending your messages because he's there. He might not be in the camera, but he's there. So our friend Teru says, "Good to see you again, Alejandro." Thank you, my friend. Let me see, Dolph finish him says, if we see them in the playoffs, we need to hunt trade the way they hunt Duncan. Okay, look who showed up here, the big boss. Ethan's calling. Ethan, how are you? Welcome to our post-game show. We took over tonight. I don't know what you did with Royal, but we took over.
No, we gave Royal the night off. Royal's doing load management tonight, which is what I thought most of the team was going to do. Am I in the dark? I'm in the dark.
You are a little bit in the dark.
I wasn't anticipating doing this tonight. My daughter gets to stay up a little bit later because we're doing this. Thanks, Tony, for joining. Thanks, Alejandro, for handling. We'll just take questions here. We're not doing the regular post-up show tonight. No pod either. We'll do the pod after Sunday night's game. We're going to do a week's worth of pods, getting ready for the first round opponent, whoever that is. Although it's looking less and less likely that it's going to be the Brooklyn Nets. So I feel like that was the major thing that happened tonight. It's not settled, though. Alex put on our off the floor string that it's settled. It's not settled, but it's looking more and more likely. I mean, that Cleveland team, I don't think could beat the Nets if they played 10 times. The Nets are going to handle that team in a play-in situation, particularly at home. They fell behind tonight, and then Durant went crazy in the fourth. So I don't think that the Nets want to jinx it or take a chance by dropping a game intentionally to try to get the Heat and then run the risk of Trey going nuts on them in a potential 8-9 matchup. So I'd anticipate the Nets are going to be 7, and then Charlotte and Atlanta are tied now for 9. And I heard Eric Reed, when he wasn't slandering John Hollinger tonight, trying to figure out exactly what the tiebreakers would be because they're 2-2. So I'm not exactly sure who has home court between Charlotte and Atlanta in the 9-10. But I think that would we agree that even tonight, notwithstanding that the Heat would rather see Charlotte than Atlanta? Is that fair to say?
I mean, tonight's game looked pretty even to me.
They play us close. Although I'll tell you this, like the team seemed kind of uninterested those first 2 quarters. And for a game that Atlanta had stakes in, it felt like they were just kind of rolling through the motions too, which might just be Atlanta's offense.
I think it's Atlanta's offense. It felt to me tonight like Eric was going to roll out the starters because they wanted to play. And then if the game was not tight at halftime, he was going to start scaling back the minutes. If you looked at the minutes in the first half, nobody played more than 16. Everybody was between 9 and 16, and he was playing 9 guys. So it did seem like if the game was not as tight as it was, he would have pulled guys out. I know there's going to be a lot of hemming and hawing about Dedmon getting hurt. Here's the reality, and we don't know how bad it is with the ankle. He would have played tonight anyway. He wasn't one of the guys who was going to sit because they didn't have Yurt. So if you were going to sit Bam, Dedmon was probably going to start. You might have played Morris off the bench, but Dedmon was going to play probably 25 to 30 minutes as opposed to what he played. So the Dedmon thing is unrelated to, him deciding to play the starters tonight. But I think generally I give them credit for playing. And I think the biggest thing that came out of tonight that was significant was they got another look at their crunch time group with Jimmy at the 4 and Strus on the court. And they got to get some of those reps, guys. I think that was the single best, whether win or lose tonight. That was the single best thing that happened tonight. Having to put the ball in Lowry's hands in those situations, Jimmy giving it up at times, Tyler making some plays, going to Bam, the Bam running hook tonight. I don't know where the hell that came from. There was a lot of good stuff. But I felt like, and also the offense-defense substitution with Martin and Strus, which is something I think we're going to see in the playoffs that Eric's been holding in his back pocket. I think that was positive too.
Good. All right, let's do this, Ethan. Let's ask our friends here that are watching now to send your questions. So let's do a rapid fire with Ethan Scalding here for the post-game show, and also with Tony Schwartz, and send your questions and we'll be answering them real quick. All right, this is about Sunday's game. So they didn't want to rest today. Are they resting on Sunday?
Yes.
Is that the plan?
Yes, because Tony's covering, so he's going to get to cover Haywood Highsmith and Mr. Mulder. There's no chance that this. I mean, look, we were wrong about tonight. Obviously, I'll bet the network on this. There's no chance the starters are playing Sunday. You won't see Jimmy. You won't see. The only one I could see himself forcing himself to play is Tyler. Just loves to play. He might, but Jimmy's not playing. Kyle's not playing. Bam is not playing. I do think you'll see Vic in the last game. I don't think they felt they played the Titan 9-man rotation today. I don't think they felt there was any point to kind of force Vic in there late. So I would anticipate that you'll see Morris get some run on Sunday. I think that obviously you get Haywood Highsmith minutes. Gabe will probably start, is my guess. They don't have Kyle Guy on the roster anymore, so there's really no other point guard to go to. So he'll play. And Caleb will probably get some minutes, but they'll be careful with him also because he's had the Achilles problem the second half of the season. So there you go. Duncan's a good question because this is coming in on the comments.
All right, there you go. Duncan Robinson, what do you want to say about him?
Well, Duncan might play on Sunday. I'm not sure. They're not going to have enough bodies if he doesn't.
Yeah, they got to have somebody.
Right, so he may go. I think tonight was a bad night for Duncan in this regard. He did have the 8 points and everything, but once again, they tried to play him in the fourth quarter, and it's just he couldn't stay with Herder. I just think the chances of him getting last 6 minute of game playoff minutes are very low. I think at this stage. And why wouldn't you put Vic in for defense? Here's one of the things about Vic I think fans have to realize. I don't think Spo wants to put him in cold. I like this. If he's not part of the plan for a certain game, I don't think he's going to put him in there. I think they view that as risky for him to come into a situation cold. That's why I say I think on Sunday I wouldn't be stunned if he starts. I just get him going from the very beginning and let him play 25 minutes. But they're not going to put him in at the end of the game. Question: is Tyler Herro the most clear winner of Sixth Man of the Year ever? Apparently not, according to John Hollinger. It's one of the best 6-man seasons we've ever seen. I did the numbers on this the other night. Literally, his efficiency numbers as a scorer, if you just want to evaluate as a scorer, okay? If somebody wants to tell me Jamal Crawford and Lou Williams were great defenders, leave the stream, okay? Because Tyler's a better defender than either of them, honestly, okay? Even in the prime of their careers. Lou's a terrible defender. Jamal was a terrible defender. And if you look at the efficiency numbers, Tyler's efficiency numbers, shooting percentage-wise, three-point percentage-wise, are better than Jamal Crawford or Lou Williams were when they want to combine 5-6 Man of the Year awards. I don't know why we're changing the rules on this, okay? Plenty of 6 men should have won who were not like pure scorers. Tyler's shooting 40% from three. Jamal Crawford never shot better than 35% from three in any of those minutes. Thanks to the unidentified celebrity review for the donation. We appreciate that. Tony looked like Tyler. I knew that was coming. Because I'll let Tony get in on the next question here. Throw a couple more out here.
Sorry. I went down with our friend. So did
someone say I can't do that. I'm not doing it. I appreciate it. I'm not royal. I can't pull that off. I'm not Gad. We'll just take questions tonight, but we appreciate it.
We are a different type of fun post-game show. So
that's right. All right. Nets in the 7th seed. Yes, they are. All right. Ask a question here so Tony can answer it. There we go. Boom. No, hold on.
No, give me the precious thing. There we go.
Muhammad, there you go.
Do you think I'll go to Tony? Do you think the organization Spo is holding back Bam a little bit, seeing what Precious is shooting from three?
So I have to hear, because I'm a Spaces guy, so I have to hear Raptors fans every day tell me that they won the trade because Precious is just lighting it up from three, apparently, and that he's going to be one of the best Raptors of all time. I don't think this is my thing with Bam. I've never thought that Bam should try and develop outside of his natural skill progression. So right now, for me, the only thing that he really has to do in our offense to make it work is be aggressive when he has the size or speed advantage, and pull the shot when he has the shot right there. Lowry's going to make the game so easy for Bam, and in the playoffs, when this gets really simplified, right, when it just becomes matchup dependent and guys executing inside of the offense, that Lowry Bam pick and roll is going to be our best and favorite weapon to go to down the stretch. And I cannot wait. Because anybody that goes under that screen is going to get cooked, because Lowry is pulling that thing now often, and it's lethal.
I loved Kyle's last 4 minutes tonight. I know he had the foul trouble, but he was so under control. The three, the turnaround in the lane. I'm going to answer this one from Lando, but hold it there, because I just want to follow on something Tony said. The 3-point thing was more of a media push and Bam reacting to the media push than it really was what the organization is pushing him to do right now. That little running hook you saw in the lane today, they're much happier with that than they would be with Bam pulling up for three. Trust me. Okay. They want to see more from inside the arc. Okay. They want to see that's the progression they want to see. All right. Throw that last question up there. All right, Lando, what's the thinking behind not letting Vic get some of those minutes we basically poured on to Caleb, especially when Duncan's inability to defend such a huge problem? Again, I think tonight, I don't – if Vic is not in the regular rotation on a given night, I don't think they're going to force him in there. I think they view that as dangerous, honestly, for his health. I don't think it's so much about the team. I think pulling him out of the rotation was about the team and getting back to a rhythm that they had before. But as far as inserting him into a game – we might see it in the playoffs, but it's not going to be in a situation like this. I love that they ran. This comes in for Jose. I love that they actually ran an actual play to get Bam a free dunk rather than ISO ball. Very little Jimmy ISO in the last 4 minutes of the game today, Tony. That's a good progression for them.
It's the best progression for them. And can we just take a second to talk about Tyler's playmaking? And you know how many times we've done this season, but he's just incredible. There was a pass to Bam early in the second quarter where he led him into the lane, and it looked so Kyle Lowry-esque because Bam's head wasn't even turned for the ball. He turned around, and there it was, and he was in great position for a shot. That progression from last year when we were putting him out at one and he was throwing skip passes into the third row is incredible, man. Tyler as a 3-level scorer has been a hell of a jump, but if you asked me if he could do that before the season started, I wouldn't have been surprised if you told me it would take this leap, but I would have been if you told me he took this leap as a playmaker.
No doubt. A couple of updates here because people have asked. PJ Tucker, I'm anticipating he'll be back for game 1. I honestly don't think this was the worst thing because this held him out for a couple of days. And Dwayne Dedmon, the ankle, didn't look particularly serious to me. We'll see. They've got other options there if they need to. But like I said, he would have played tonight anyway. Even if they'd sat the starters, he probably would have played more. So we're going to roll with undrafted guys in the playoffs. Here's the thing about that. They've rolled with them all season. And I can tell you that a big part of the conversation that the stars on this team, the guys who are paid a lot, not the undrafted guys, Butler, Bam, Lowry, had with Eric Spoelstra, was we want to see Caleb and Gabe back in the rotation and Max in the starting lineup. If your three most important, or I don't always say three most important, but your three highest paid players at this stage want to see the three undrafted guys play, those particular three undrafted guys, I think we should trust them, right? Like they trust them, so I think we should trust them. What changes, this comes with 1,000 Eyes, what changes, if any, do you see changing the East standings? I actually think it's going to sit exactly where it is. I think it's going to sit. So what are we talking about in terms of changes? Milwaukee's going to be the 2, okay?
Yep.
Boston's going to be the 3. Philadelphia's likely Philadelphia, Boston 3, Philadelphia 4, Toronto 5. Chicago's dropping like a rock. If there were 2 more weeks, they would miss the play-in. But they're going to be the 6. So you're looking most likely at, again, if you look at the standings here, Celtics, Bulls in the first round. The Celtics are going to win that series easily. I think the Raptors upset the Sixers. And then I think the play-in's going to stay where it is. I think the Nets are going to beat the Cavs. I think the Hawks beat the Hornets. A Hawks-Cavs game is interesting. You could see the Hawks end up in that 8 spot, I think, especially because we're not expecting Jared Allen to be back, right? Waiting on John Collins also for Atlanta.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that game would come up next Friday. Would either of those guys be healthy by then? I'm not sure. I could see the Hawks beating the Cavs and getting the 8 and the Cavs being on the outside. So then you would look at a Hawks Heat first-round series, what we saw tonight.
Which is probably what's coming one way or the other.
Right. Marcus, what could Caleb Martin do that Vic couldn't his playoff experience commit? I get all this. I understand that people want Vic to play. I know that the breakout game that he had turned this even more. I just don't. Here's my thing about the perception I got talking to players and people in the organization and the head coach. They know what they're going to get from Caleb Martin. They know, like they've seen it enough this season. They don't know what they're going to get from Vic. The upside may be higher, but they're going to go with a guy that they know right now, and that's Caleb. So any depot role in the playoffs, I think it's going to require an injury or them being down 3-1 in a series for him to get a significant role.
And look, and at the end of the day, Caleb, we're going to be facing a bunch of switching defenses.
Yes.
Caleb's our best weapon against every single one of those.
He's the best cutter on the team.
Yep.
The best cutter on the team. I'll go to the last question, the one before that. Well, Jimmy can be when he wants to be, but Zach comes in. Do you see Herro being traded in the offseason, honestly, for superstar? Have you heard anything? Please don't trade, baby. Go. I really think it has to be an extraordinary circumstance. To me, there's only one player, and that's Donovan Mitchell, that I think that it would be seriously entertained for. And that's it. I honestly don't think they make him a trade for Bradley Beal at this point. Do you have to walk that? I'll let Tony handle this. Thanks for the dono.
You want me to do this?
Go ahead.
All right. He said, fine, forget about it. The man that eats beans from under the bridge. You can at least walk back to comments on Bam has no post game. I don't know who said that. Did Ethan say that?
I haven't said he has no post game. I said he hasn't been particularly efficient in the post, but I didn't say that.
Somebody said that I look like Tyler Herro with a Dominican haircut, and you win tonight. You win.
Pretty good. At least you have more hair than me right now, Tony. Joseph comes in. Tyler in the last 2 minutes. Throw that one back up, Alejandro. Tyler in the last 2 minutes is an indication of his maturity now or a fluke. I think it's his maturity. The game is so slow for him now. Like you're seeing that progression. I just want to remind people, and I don't want to get quoted on this because I don't want this to. Does everybody remember what age Dwayne Wade was when he entered the league? He was a full year and a half older than Tyler Herro. Okay, Tyler is in his third season. Dwayne was in his third season when he won Finals MVP. I'm not comparing the talent. I'm just trying to give some perspective where Tyler is at 22 years old. It's ridiculous.
We ain't trading that boy for nothing. Nothing.
Is that Herro? I have to praise Herro because I'm on the air with him. What about a role for Markieff? I do think there's a potential role for Markieff because to me, Markieff is a plug-and-play player. It's more matchup dependent. I feel like Markieff could not play for a month and you would just plug him in and he would do kind of what you want him to do, which is shoot a mid-range jumper, set a screen. It's not like Depot where it's who's going to handle the ball and how are they going to approach all of that. This comes in from Raul. I'm looking at this on the side too. Well, we'll throw that one up later. At this point, whose decision-making do you trust more, Tyler or Jimmy? That's a good question, Jay.
It's a trick question, Lowry.
We know the answer. You just can't say it here.
Did you say Lowry? That's what I'm saying. I'm going with Kyle.
It's
I'm
Kyle.
Going off the board. I'll go off the board. This comes from Peck. I'd rather get the Cavs than the Nets. You are in the minority on that one. I will say that I'd rather get the Nets than the Cavs. I would have agreed with you earlier in the season. The Cavs are not the same team that they were before. I've talked to a lot of people in Cleveland. Unfortunately, I still have a lot of ties up there. The Ricky Rubio injury has really hurt them. They were getting really good bench production from their backcourt. They're not anymore. Rondo's been a complete disaster. LeVert really hasn't shot the ball particularly well since they brought him in, and they're really missing Jared Allen. I love Mobley's upside. That's not, and I love Garland. To me, that team is not the threat that they were 3 months ago. A lot of comments coming in, so I'm trying to keep up. Bam for Spida, straight up, they're not trading Bam in any circumstance. I'm not answering Jay Smith's question. I'm not. I don't know what that is. Sixers could win the last two, and the Celtics could lose to Memphis Sunday. That's correct. Memphis doesn't need the game, though. That's the thing. Now, Memphis has won without Ja all year, so maybe it doesn't matter that they don't need the game, but they doesn't mean the game. All right, this is the one I was looking for. Ethan, you said that the Heat will work to get Tyler easier shots going forward. I do think that's going to be priority this offseason. Well, they also put Bam with Zoe for post moves. Love Zoe. I don't know if – Zoe was always a little – I'm not going to say it. I covered those so years.
Look,
he was always a little clunky in the post, wasn't he?
Yeah, it wasn't the best. I don't think Hakeem's camps still hold the same weight they used to.
Although that's the guy I would put him with if Hakeem can still walk. Yeah, I mean, I would say they're going to work on some of that with him. But I feel like Heat fans and even us as Heat media or Heat observers are more panicked about the things Bam needs to add to this game than they are.
But don't you feel like this is the offseason where they actually go that route, especially if the plan is to start Tyler? They're going to need every inch of space they can get with Jimmy still on the floor.
True. Do you think if Damian Lillard becomes available that they can use Tyler?
Heat fans always want to trade somebody.
No, well, I know.
They're first in the Eastern Conference.
All
honestly,
day, brother. All day.
Honestly, if Dame goes anywhere, I think he's going to play with LeBron because I think that was going to happen last year, and Dame didn't put them in position to pull the trigger on it. Of all the play-in teams, I want the Cavs. I think the Cavs and the Hornets are both 4 or 5 game series for the Heat. I think the Hawks is a 6-game series. I think the Nets is a 6-game series. And Javier, that's fair. The Nets don't scare me. KD does. Yeah, nothing else about the Nets. Can I? There's something about the Nets I'm trying to figure out here. Okay, I hated the Harden Simmons trade for both sides because I have no respect for either as a player. But how is it possible that they seem more freaked out about the Nets now that they don't have Harden than they did before? When I mean Seth Curry, I'm actually, and I like Patty Mills. But their big problem hasn't been solved. I mean, Andre Drummond is not doing anything against you in a playoff series. Their bigs are awful. I don't understand.
I tried to talk about this a little on the show, but the 76ers and the Nets have the same exact problem. You can just beat them up on the offensive glass all night. You just get their defenders moving laterally, and you take their one big and get them a little bit outside of the post, and you can eat them all night weak side baseline. There's nothing they can do.
That's fair. We had one other. How does one get the opportunity to be on one of these shows? I don't know. Tonight, Tony and I weren't going to step in here. You probably could have joined Alejandro tonight. Tonight was
Ethan. I'm
fan appreciation night.
Yeah. Alejandro's been on 12 shows today.
It's been a long day. It's been a long day. During the playoffs, we're gonna do an in-game broadcast. So
oh my god, that's all you. I'm gonna be in section. I'm gonna be in section 106. All right, let's take 2 more questions here. 2 more. Ethan, we can keep secrets. That's what our off the floor feeds for. You can pay $305 a month. We'll tell you.
Plug it. Invite people for the off the floor thing.
Off the floor. Who you got the Bucks Nets series? Bucks and 6.
Bucks might be the best team in the Eastern Conference. We have an uphill battle with them.
Yeah, the Bucks are the team that the Miami has to get through. I've said it all year. It's the same. Brook has looked better lately. That's a key for them. Drew Holiday is a killer at this point on both ends. That's the team. That's the team. Okay, that's the team the Heat fans should be focused on. Is it likely Herro becomes an All-Star next year? I think it's very possible. I think increased role. Starter, most likely, coming off a 6 Man of the Year award, natural progression, his work ethic, his desire to be hungry, and if he has a high-profile playoff run this year, that will certainly help. Can you explain the tie-breaking rule of how the Heat clinched the 1 seed? I'm too tired for that. They got the 1 seed. Don't worry about it. Last one.
Peppers did it.
They played Peppers today when the game was by only
2 with points. 2 minutes left, and we were 30 seconds. We're only at 2.
That's the kind of thing I would do. Tyler Herro turns into a legend that series against the Bucks. Do you think we get an All NBA player? No, I don't. I think they're going to get squeezed out of all 3. I think Jimmy's going to get beaten out. I think Siakam's going to get beaten out. I think there's going to be a name in there that people are like, what? But I honestly, I don't think anybody's watched this team all year. They're not going to get an All NBA player. And I think the fact that nobody's really played other than Tyler more than 60 games, I think disqualified for most people, Bam and Jimmy. Here we go. Last one from Millard. I love James Harden questions. By the way, do you see the nickname that he's been given on Twitter?
Yes, I have. I've also seen you taking a lot of joy in this.
Brick Ross. It's fantastic.
Brick Ross.
Go back to the Harden question. I need the Harden question. Hold on. Ethan, how long do you think it'll take James Harden to choke and want to leave the Sixers say he doesn't see himself fitting in?
This offseason.
Well, Daryl Morey's there, but if the Harden thing doesn't work out, Morey's not going to last in Philadelphia.
Do you find it interesting that they traded Ben Simmons for Ben Simmons with worse defense?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'd rather have Ben Simmons not shoot than James Harden shoot. He's at 28% from three since the first 3 games he played with Philadelphia, and 2 of those games were against the Knicks. I've said this many times. You will never win a championship with James Harden as one of your 2 best players. The only chance he has is late career hooking on with a team. We've seen guys do that. I'm not comparing him to Gary Payton, but guys like people have won championships, mid to late 30s. Why does anybody think he's going to keep himself in shape? He didn't when he was in his 20s. He's not going to do when he's in his 30s. There's only so long that the VIP room stuff works. All right. Thanks to Alejandro. Thanks to Tony. You have any final words? You're going to be there Sunday.
I'm going to be there Sunday. Hopefully we get to see some Victor Oladipo because I got a question for him.
You'll get Victor Oladipo on Sunday. Everybody's going to be happy about that. I think Eric's a little concerned that Depot has like 28 on Sunday and then the fans go crazy. Like, why hasn't he been playing? That's Ira's theory. Ira's theory on why Depot's not playing is that he doesn't want to. Spo doesn't want to be in the position of having to play him.
It's weird. I think it really just comes down to he's just not in game shape. When he plays a couple games, he has back pain, and that's like a typical thing that happens when you're off your feet for so long coming back. I just don't think they want to give him that run because he's not ready. If they have to use him, it's an in-case break glass.
I'm with you on it. All right, subscribe to Off the Floor. You can find that out. We gave away 2 100 level 5th row tickets on Off the Floor today. Okay, you should be subscribed there. Also, prizepicks.com. Use the code 5. Alejandro, go to sleep. The team you care about the most lost today. Okay,
oh, man.
And we have Inter Miami tomorrow. So
and they will lose because they always lose. The Panther. Oh, that's right. They play tomorrow. Maybe my daughter and I will go. What time is that?
I'll have to check. I don't know. It's been a long day.
It has been a long day, and I got to put someone to sleep. All right. Have a good night, everybody.
Thank you. So let's kick Ethan out of here. Oh, Tony left as well. So thank you guys very much for being here. Remember, if you haven't done so, please like our video, subscribe to our channel. We're going to be doing this, of course, during the playoffs. And during the play-in, we're going to have the post-game show as well. Our friend Jack says, as usual, Heat win, Marlins lose. Yeah, they lost. They were winning in the 9th inning, and they blew it up again. And they lost in extra innings. We do have a post-game analysis, 2 actually, for the Marlins game, the takeaways, and also another one with man on second, Joe Frisaro, and the team there. Why didn't we let Chris Quinn coach the last 2? I guess Eric Spoelstra wanted to stay there with the team a little bit longer. Josue Martinez says, these fans really trading Butler. Chill, please. Yes, I mean, this surprises me all the time. It's amazing how the Miami Heat fans always want to trade their guys, even when they're first in the conference, which is something crazy. Jimmy Butler for Donovan Mitchell. I don't think that's going to happen. So, I mean, thank you very much to all of you. I couldn't read all the messages, but I mean, Demetrius, Josue, Jay, Arlene, Kevin, Jack, Jared, RJ, Songji Woo, Dankis, Anthony, Mohamed, Luis Valdez, Anthony Roman, Sky the Limit, Roshan Robinson, Anthony, Luis again, Jared, Teru, Kick, all of you. Thank you very much for your comments. Happy Jack 24 as well. Let me see who else. Mark McBean is over here. Fernando, Vic, Thousand Eyes, Scott Keeney, all of you. Thank you very much. Jet Law, Mark, our friend, Insurance by Lynette, the sponsor for the post-op show. Please check her out, Insurance by Lynette. Always here with us in the post-game show. Jared, Anthony, Vic, all of you, thank you very much for being here in the post-game show. Again, we're going to be back. Let me see. Jess, so you're the guy I need to go to if I want to be on this show. Yes, you have to find me. Here's my account on Twitter, so you can shoot me a message, Twitter or Instagram, and then we can talk. We're going to be doing this during games for the playoffs, so get ready. We're gonna be watching the game together. So as long as the game's going on, we're gonna be here hanging out with you guys, chilling, talking about the games. You guys can send your messages, your comments, and we'll discuss what's going on during the game as it's happening. So it's gonna be fun, and hopefully we get along and have fun with that. Let me see. Millard says Alejandro, get great show, and Tyler number 2. Yes, too bad Tony left. Ethan said Ethan said bye bye, and then Tony left. He has to learn. When Ethan says bye, we can still keep going, but I don't know. Tony wanted to leave anyway, so he missed out. Let me see. Our problem really show up when we have a poor shooting night. Yes, that's right. Thank you so much for this show. Thank you guys for joining us. Much love. Thank you, Fernando. Thank you very much for all your comments. You made it fun. And look at this. I'm going to take a picture of this for my Instagram. Let's take it there. Producer of the year. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you for all your kind words. We try to do it. We try to put out all our best content there with all the teams. Today we had Canes, we had Dolphins, we had Marlins, we had Panthers as well. We had the Miami Heat to close it out. So it was a great day to finish this Friday night. So you guys go ahead, go party, go drink, go watch a movie, go do something. Enjoy the rest of the night, and we will see you later here on the 5 Reasons YouTube channel. Follow our work here, Alejandro VG32, if you want more of my content in Spanish and English, and then we'll get ready for the playoffs, as our friend Sky's the Limit says here. See you on Sunday. We'll probably have a pregame show on Sunday, a different version, probably a little shorter, and we'll see what happens. No podcast tonight, so this is what you get, and just enjoy the content that we have here on the 5 Reasons YouTube channel, guys. Thank you very much, and we will see you later this week on the 5 Reasons YouTube channel. Bye-bye.